Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, coming at you again live, well, almost live, I think, this Sunday afternoon, and we are presenting this week's version of the Mayors and Supervisors updates. Let's start off with Mike Falk, the Lima Town Supervisor. Mike, what's happening in Lima?
Well, Chris, we'll start in Livingston County first. The budget process there is a little bit later than the townships, and so far it looks like it's going to be staying under the budget cap, which is low this year. It's in the 1% area, so small increase. The Lima budget passed, and Lima town taxpayers will see a slight decrease in the coming year. We had transaction windows installed in the Lima Town Hall for the town office, village office, code enforcement, and the assessor. The door glass was taken out of each one and sliding windows were put in. It seems like such a small thing. It took 6 months to get them because the tempering facility that tempers the glass shut down for the spring and was so far behind. Anyone driving past the town hall can see that the wooden structure has been installed, signaling the start of the elevator construction. The wooden structure on the front of the building is to support a small handicap lift to make the first floor accessible while the current lift elevator is removed, and then that stairwell is transformed into a brand new 5-stop elevator. During the construction, there will be no access to the basement, and right now there's no access to the basement. It is loaded to the gills with wall studs and drywall and all that. Along with that, the elections, which are going to be held November 3rd, will be held on the first floor, and folks can enter the front of the building to access the two boardrooms, the Legion Room and the regular boardroom, depending on which district you're in. Thank you to St. Rose for providing the space for the food pantry to assemble the Thanksgiving and Christmas bags, which normally would be done in the basement here. The only other thing I've got is that the Rotary Trunk or Treat is going to be on Halloween, and it will be right here at the town hall in the parking lot, starting at 6 p.m. right on October 31st.
All
That's
right.
it.
Thanks, Mike. Eileen, Village of Scottsville. What's new and happening there?
Well, things are pretty quiet right now. I just want to reiterate some of the things we talked about last week because they're ongoing. The North Road project continues. They're doing a lot of work on the east side of North Road, from the railroad tracks to the light. There may be some delays there as you're going along. They are working on the curbing and the drainage, and hope to be doing some paving work by the end of the month. So part of that, it probably directs a lot of traffic along Rochester Street, people taking another route to avoid North Road. And there are concerns about the amount of traffic, the speeding, especially at the rush hours and in the morning when our school kids are being picked up or coming to school. So we'd just like to reiterate, please, folks, follow the speed limit. Do not stop school buses. We want to keep our kids safe on their way to school. We are in leaf season. The DPW the truck is ready and starting to pick up leaves. Remember to rake your leaves to the side of the road. Try to keep them in along a line instead of a mound. It makes it much easier for our DPW workers to pick up the leaves. Reminding everyone that on North Road, the leaf pickup will be the same as the rest of the village on the west side of North Road, but we're asking people on the east side of North Road to either bag their leaves in in the brown paper bags for yard debris, and we will pick them up. Otherwise, you need to wait until November 9th for leaf pickup, when we'll be able to bring the truck down and pick up the leaves. Another thing with fall and open fires, just remember that you need to use dry seasoned wood in your fire pit. You are not to burn leaves or plastic or any other really recyclables. If it can be recycled, please use our recycled totes and get rid of that way. Our forestry board held an Arbor Day ceremony this past Saturday down at the Wheatland Historical Association Sage Marlowe House. They also planted 2 trees up by the village sign up on Rochester Street as you come into the village. It was a very simple ceremony this year because of COVID. I read the proclamation making us declaring Arbor Day and making us a tree city. And 2 serviceberry trees were planted where 2 trees had been removed by the DPW. Finally, Halloween is coming up, and just to reiterate, it's at the discretion of parents whether you go out trick-or-treating. We just want to remind you that, please be respectful of houses that do not turn on their light. They may be people who just at this time during COVID do not want to answer the door to a lot of people, especially our seniors. So enjoy Halloween. I've heard of families planning other little activities at home. I even heard someone suggest for their kids in the house, in their homes, to have a Halloween trick-or-treat scavenger hunt and go find the candy in the house. They may be finding it right until Christmas. So anyway, have a nice Halloween, but please everybody be safe out there. Okay,
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eileen. Rick, how are we doing in Honeoye Falls?
We are doing well. Thank you, Chris. It's good to see everyone again today. Just going over a few things that are coming up as we talked last week. Our Boy Scouts Troop 10 will be indeed having an event at Harry Allen Park on Monday the 26th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. They are not, I repeat, they are not going to do the trunk or treat program that they had talked about. They're going to actually just have a candy handout at the Scout House at Harry Allen Park. So people can drive through or walk in and do some trick-or-treating on Monday the 26th. On Saturday the 24th, the Girl Scouts, as I did mention, also at Harry Allen Park, will have their pumpkin festival again this year. It is going to be, as I said last week, very much downsized. It's going to be a pumpkin display, carved pumpkin display only. They're not going to have food and games and movies, etc., like they have in the past because of the COVID and social distancing requirements. So they're going to set the pumpkins up in the Harry Allen Park and put a path that you can follow, develop a path that you can follow to see all the pumpkins and enjoy that. That will be from 4 to 9 p.m. on Saturday the 24th. And that's usually rain or snow or color. It's always a challenge this time of year. As Mayor Hansen was just talking about from a Halloween standpoint and trick-or-treating, again, the county is clearly leaving that up to all, to local individuals, local municipalities. They are still, Dr. Mendoza is still stating that this is a safe activity, but people need to use their own judgment. If residents do not want to hand out candy or have candy available, that certainly is their decision. And if someone has their lights out or obviously do not appear to be handing out candy, please just pass their house, respect their privacy. And for those parents and children that do want to go out, just again, keep your distance, try to socially distance as best you can and be safe. Village Board meeting on Monday, the 19th, will be at the Honeoye Falls Mendon Ambulance Base beginning at 7 p.m. There are a couple of things going on. We have really 3 public hearings. They're all part of one. But this is in regards to our conservation board and some new processes that are being set up. We are going to allow, like we did for our combined planning and zoning board, 2 alternate members who will not be voting, but they will be members of the board that if someone is missing on a given night, they can step in. Or if the conservation board needs to attend a village board meeting to talk about a project, again, the alternate members can attend and take part if needed. They have some updated duties, and then there will also be a new section in our village law and ordinances called trees, which we currently do not have. And that is also, we're not tag teaming on Scottsville, but like Mayor Hanson was just talking about being a tree city, we want the village of Honeoye Falls to also be a Tree City USA. So this section called trees is something we need to pass in order to move towards that designation. So those things will be happening at the village board meeting. There will also be a presentation by the Honeoye Falls Fire Department Building Committee that's been actively working on direction for our fire hall, whether we build new, continue on as is, or whatever we do. So they'll be presenting to the village board. That meeting will be utilized virtually as well as in person. We'll be using Big Blue Button. That is on our website and on our Facebook page, etc. And we'll certainly send that on to the Sentinel as well. And then the day of the event, we actually will have the call-in number posted. We can't do it until the day of the event. That's one thing we're still working through. I will be attending the meeting virtually as I'm still in quarantine, and I'm just getting my final test to get out of quarantine. So I'll be attending virtually. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is that our ZBA meeting, our Zoning Board of Appeals meeting in November will be all virtual. And the reason for that is there's going to be a fairly large discussion on a new some approvals for a new development, new housing development in Honeoye Falls. And this is going to be taking place at the old Wolfberger Park, the Jacobs property, where we expect around 120 homes to be built. It's going to be a very nice development. We're looking forward to that. But because we still cannot use the school for large gatherings, we truly don't feel we have a facility in the village at this time that's large enough to guarantee everybody could get in. So we've decided to do that meeting 100% virtually, and we'll see how that goes. So those are the things that are going on in the village at this point in time, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on again today.
Thank you very much, Rick. Jerry, Rush. Always interested to hear what's going on in Rush.
Well, we've had quite a bit going on in Rush, the best kept secret in Western New York. And I don't know if everyone is aware of the presence of Native American history in Rush for over 2,000 years. They had an encampment, I think you'd call it, down at the end of Gola in the area of the Genesee River and the Honeoye Creek. And there's been many artifacts have been taken out of that area over the years. And unfortunately, some of them were burned up in a museum fire in Albany back in, I think it was 1911. But anyway, we in Rush, because of that heritage, decided to declare October 12th as Indigenous Peoples' Day in the town of Rush. Now, everybody celebrates it as Columbus Day, but we've added on Indigenous Peoples' Day. And as a result of that declaration, we had about 150 visitors from the reservations at Salamanca and Tonawanda who came down and walked from the Genesee River fishing site in Avon all the way up to the Ganawanda site at River Road and Route 5. And then they went to lunch, and then they came here for a reread of the proclamation. That all occurred on Monday, the 12th. It was a wonderful event. Everybody was happy, and it was good to see people without worrying about the COVID. I don't want to imply that those people aren't worried about it, but it was a nice event, so it took our minds off of it. Other than that, we are still doing all of our town board meetings, our sub-board meetings by virtual Zoom, and that's going well. We will continue to do Zoom after we are allowed to go back into lifetime board sessions. So many people have expressed their like of the Zoom platform. They don't have to leave their house. They don't have to come out in cold, inclement weather. So we're going to continue to do that. We don't have all the restaurants to open like other towns. We've got a couple that are limited serving right now. We're looking forward to them opening up all the way. And we're just hoping that the COVID doesn't come back in this direction.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Anybody else have anything they want to add that they may have forgotten? Seeing nothing, I want to thank everybody for being here this week at this week's Mayors and Supervisors Update, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.
Have a good week, everyone.